Japan's temples and shrines. Some of the first things that many imagine when they think of Japan are Buddhist temples and Shinto shrines, which are naturally some of the most popular sites for both domestic and international travelers. What is the difference? While you probably have a basic idea of what Japanese temples and shrines look like, do you know the difference between the two? Japan has two main religions, both of which are practiced by most people in different ways, Buddhism and Shinto. And the temples are the sacred sites of the former, and shrines of the latter. Buddhism, which has a long and complicated history in Japan with many different sects, is now most commonly associated with rituals, and most cemeteries are located on temple grounds. Some temples also still serve as active monasteries. Shinto is Japan's native animistic religion, and shrines, which contain hidden secret objects representing the local gods, are commonly visited to pray for good fortune or give thanks, and are also the site of popular matsuri, or local festivals that celebrate the enshrined god. If you want to know which is which, you will always find a torii gate, signifying the entrance to the sacred realm, at the entrance of the shrine grounds. And temples can usually be identified by statues of the Buddha. Where can they be found? Shrines and temples can be found in virtually every municipality throughout all of Japan, and even small and minor ones can be interesting to visit and have a look around for the serene atmosphere. For those looking for a high concentration of temples and shrines with long and illustrious histories, grand scale and refined aesthetics, Kyoto, Japan's ancient capital, is the obvious choice. With over 2,000 temples and shrines, it could take a lifetime to fully explore them all. Koyasan in Wakayama Prefecture offers guests the chance to try staying a night in a Buddhist temple, and engage in spiritual practices, such as morning chanting, copying of sutras, and dining on Buddhist vegetarian cuisine. The spiritually adventurous can embark on one of Japan's ancient pilgrimage routes, such as the Henro, which visits 88 temples throughout the island of Shikoku, the scenic Kumano-Kodo, which connects major shrines in Wakayama and Mie prefectures, or the Dua Sanzen to 3 mountaintop temples in Yamagata Prefecture. This is of course just a few examples, however, as it would take a lifetime to visit all the temples and shrines in Japan. Why are they interesting to visit? From a purely aesthetic perspective, many temples and shrines of Japan are magnificent architectural pieces, often also featuring ancient sacred art, gardens, objects, or sculptures, which can run the gamut from extravagant to austere, but usually fascinating. They are also a way to learn about a piece of Japanese history, as major temples are often associated with a particular family that had great influence in a local area, and seeing how the structure of Shinto shrines has been influenced by Buddhist temples in different ways in different periods offers an interestingly concrete perspective on the nature of the two religions. On a deeper level, learning about how the aesthetics of the structures related to the beliefs and practices of their respective religions are also, of course, fascinating and educational, whether one subscribes to the beliefs of the religions or not. How should tourists visit them? While visited as sightseeing spots by domestic and international visitors alike, one mustn't forget that temples and shrines are principally places of prayer and worship, and should thusly be visited respectfully. Temples will have an offering box, and throwing a coin in will be taken as a sign of respect. Always take your shoes off before entering a temple building. Watch out for a place to store your shoes. Shrines will have a purification fountain near the entrance. Use the ladle to pour some water in your hands. Use it to rinse your mouth, and spit it out near the fountain. This is a ritual of purification to prepare you to enter the sacred space of the shrine. If you would like to say a prayer at the shrine, throw a coin in the offering box. Bow twice, and clap twice, which is meant to waken the God contained therein. Bow once more and say a short prayer. Some shrines will also have a rope which you can pull to ring a bell or a gong, which you can also sound to waken the God in the shrine. For both temples and shrines, photography, while usually permitted on the grounds, is often prohibited of or inside the main buildings. Look for signs and err on the side of caution. Fun fact: if you'll be visiting a lot of temples and shrines during your time in Japan, you may want to consider getting a goshuin-cho, which literally means stamp book. In return for a small donation, an attendant at the temple or shrine will make the stamp, complete with some original calligraphy, which is unique for each location. The book itself can also often be purchased from the shrine or temple, which you can then continue to fill up with the unique stamps of all the temples and shrines you visit. Maybe this is the origin of the popularity of stamp rallies in Japan. Now that you have the basic info, try learning about some individual temples and shrines you're interested in. Visiting and learning about them can be a great way to structure a visit to Japan. For your next trip in Japan, be sure to plan seeing some of the temples and shrines in your area.